Welcome to today's webinar, Growing Fleet, Keep the Cost of Accidents, Insurance, and Maintenance in Check, presented by IntelliShift. I'm Jay Cohen with WorkTruck, and I'll be your moderator for today's event. I encourage you to ask questions during the webinar at any point, and we will try to address them all. However, if we do not get to yours, don't worry, you will be contacted by email with a response after the event. There will be a brief survey after the webinar, so please take a moment to fill it out. Your feedback is important. Our presenter for today is Kara Suarez, Senior Director, Product Marketing for IntelliShift. Kara has spent over 15 years helping customers unlock ROI from technology investments. With a focus on software as a service and IoT, Kara has covered a diverse cross-section of industries and solutions. Prior to joining IntelliShift, Kara has held various product marketing leadership roles at Video, Poly, and HP. Now I'll hand it over to Kara.
Thank you, Jay. Today, I'm here to deliver actionable insights and best practices that you can put to work in your business right now about how to keep the cost of accidents, insurance, and maintenance in check while you're growing your fleet. In a recent benchmarking report from the National Private Truck Council, over 3/4 of respondents reported that they expect their fleets to grow over the next 5 years. Many of you on today's webinar are likely in the same position. In fact, just this morning, Yahoo Finance reported that the 2022 economic outlook forecasts a 4.6% expansion in equipment and software investment growth and a 3.5% GDP growth from a study published by Equipment Leasing and Finance Foundation. So if 2020 and 2021 were the years where we tightened our belts on investments while we hunkered down for the uncertainty of the pandemic, 2022 looks like the pendulum is swinging in the other direction, and it's time to plan for growth. Discovering that you need to expand your fleet is great news. It means that your business is growing. But each time you add a vehicle, your cost increases as well. You're adding to your insurance premiums. More drivers on the road means greater chances of an accident, along with their associated costs and liabilities. And there's increased fuel and maintenance expenses to consider as well. So on the surface, it can sound really daunting, especially if your business centers to delivering a service through your fleet rather than having the fleet itself being a core part of your mission. But with a straightforward plan, a plan informed by the data already flowing through your business, it doesn't have to be daunting at all. So I'd like to actually poll the audience. We can kind of start a poll up on your screen here. The question that I'd like to pose to you today is, which incremental costs are of most concern to you? So you can actually answer that question on your screen. You don't have to use the questions. You can actually go ahead and start answering those questions. So the answers could be A, insurance premiums, accident-related costs, add in maintenance expenses, and higher fuel costs as well. So we'll see, actually got a lot of higher fuel costs. I know that's been in the news a lot. We'll give it another moment, let everyone take a moment to go ahead and answer. Okay, let's take a look at those final survey results. Okay, really interesting. So we see actually, a pretty healthy mix with some of the responses here. We see some folks, it's kind of across the board, but definitely added maintenance expenses is the highest, followed by higher fuel costs. So really interesting stuff. We've seen a lot of that, in our dealings with customers as well. And through this presentation, I'm actually going to cover all of these, in order here. So let's just start with some of the cost related to increased insurance and accidents. So we've actually seen many fleet managers report that they were most concerned about increased costs related to insurance and accidents. We know that a leading cause of accidents is distracted driving. And when you consider that the real financial implications of collisions, sometimes between, $14,000 to $225,000, it can make a lot of financial sense to put risk mitigation measures in place. A powerful step in preventing escalating cost is reducing safety-related incidents. This takes on-the-road visibility. You've got to know what's happening when your drivers are behind the wheel and be able to take action. A study in the Journal of Safety Research found that deploying dual-facing dash cameras can reduce safety incidents by 60% and cut accident-related costs by an incredible 86%. If the cameras are powered by AI or artificial intelligence, you can maximize your cost reduction with real-time alerting and in-cab coaching, even on hard-to-detect behaviors like following too close, distracted or fatigued driving, or a hazard in the roadway. You'll prevent avoidable accidents that have the evidence and have the evidence needed to exonerate your drivers in the event of a false claim of liability for an accident or property damage. And you can also ask your insurance providers about premium discounts or subsidies for deploying a fleet dash cam program, and many of them offer them. So maintenance, another very popular subject on the list. I'd say, maintenance and inspections, they really go hand in hand, and these can be profit killers if they're not performed consistently and proactively. With the vehicle shortages putting pressure on fleets, maintenance has become a pillar of efficiency and sustainability. Aging vehicles need to stay on the road longer, meaning preventative maintenance is critical for success. We can all agree that proper maintenance reduces overall asset expenses. And by implementing a preventative maintenance schedule, cost savings can be realized in many areas. From increased reliability to an extended fleet life, the overall amount time spent for your fleet will decrease. Ensuring your fleet is in proper working order at all times, you can avoid expensive downtime and keep your fleet working as efficiently as possible. Like I said earlier, maintenance and inspections go hand in hand. To ensure compliance and reduce costs, digitizing your inspection process and automating reporting can have huge benefits. This ensures that small issues that are identified and sent to your maintenance crew in real time where they can be resolved quickly before they deteriorate into more costly repairs and downtime. So fuel, that was kind of by far the most popular topic on today's call. So we'll take a look at fuel costs. With prices hitting the highest point in 7 years, we know news coverage makes it seem like it's an expense that's out of your control, and it's not. The key to knowing which levers you can pull to make cost-reducing difference is based on data. Data-driven decisions put cost-cutting power in your hands, enabling you to take action quickly and ensure that as your revenue and fleet grows, you're simultaneously squeezing every drop of unnecessary expense out of your operations, maximizing the profit that hits your bottom line. So here's how to take immediate action that's measurable using insight gained through your unified telematics and safety and operational data. Things we've seen customers have great success with can have a wide range. So starting with some of the basics, conducting a vehicle route review. asking yourself the questions, are your routes optimized so your drivers can service the maximum number of customers in a day without traveling extra miles or unnecessarily idling in traffic? Reviewing some historical route trends can uncover sticking points that are costing you fuel and time. Correcting negative driver behaviors can also have a huge impact. A significant amount of fuel expense stems from behaviors like, idling, harsh braking, rapid acceleration, speeding. These are all coachable and preventable when you harness the information reported by your telematics and safety equipment. You can also ensure that your drivers fuel up at the lowest price stations. By leveraging a fuel management solution, you prevent unauthorized purchases, you can track and manage miles per gallon, and you can give your drivers in-the-moment visibility into the lowest priced fuel station on their route. You can also work to optimize your vehicle utilization. With routing streamlined, you may find that you can cover more business with the same resources, enabling smart fleet growth where vehicles are added when they're truly needed and not a moment sooner. This is especially critical given the current chip shortage that's making fleet expansion a real expense and a challenge. And one thing that I'm going to add that I didn't pull into this slide, but I think it's important to mention, is also considering the impact of where electric vehicles might be able to save on fuel costs as well. Leveraging data and having reports that can actually give you insights into what routes might make the most sense to deploy electric vehicles can also have a tremendous bottom line impact as well. So we're going to take a look at equipping your growing fleet with these cost-saving measures in mind. IntelliShift offers a comprehensive fleet management solution delivering safety, efficiency, and a guaranteed ROI through the combination of all-in-one technology and a customer success blueprint that solves today's problems quickly and helps you be ready for whatever comes next. We really take a comprehensive approach to fleet management that covers, really runs the gamut of everything you need to manage your fleet all in one place. So we meet you where you are. As you grow, you wouldn't need to purchase disparate point solutions, one solution for dash cams, another solution for inspections, another solution for GPS, and something else entirely for maintenance. Point solutions can't really solve that higher order fleet challenges that require a simple yet powerful approach. With IntelliShift, you get one vendor to manage with one philosophy around unifying people, processes, and data. So fleet managers don't have to be the go-between across different support organizations that only want to solve one piece of the puzzle. We solve the hardest problems, the ones that need to connect across your people, technology, data, and operations. So let's face it, AI video cameras, for example, are a pretty big investment, and they really require you needing to make the business case with an immediate ROI. There's a cost for the equipment, and then you've got to make your vehicles available for installation. You've got to train your drivers to adopt and correctly use the new technology. But the upfront investment can be a fraction of the payback. That's because these cameras offer a host of benefits that reduce your cost while protecting your drivers and your brand. First, with AI dash cams in your vehicles, you'll reduce accidents, violations, and their associated costs. In fact, a Journal of Safety research study found that trucks with dual-facing cameras saw a 60% reduction in accidents. That's right, a 60% reduction in accidents, and an 86% reduction in accident costs. When you combine that with the FMCSA findings that distraction, fatigue, lane departure, and improper following distance are all top causes of driver-related large truck fatal crashes, the return on AI video cameras can be even higher because they can detect and help prevent these behaviors in real time with in-cab coaching. And fewer accidents also means less downtime, which results in greater efficiency and the ability to drive better customer experience. Second, you'll have the evidence needed to exonerate drivers from false claims. Without getting into a lot of statistics, I'll just point out that studies show that in many as 80% of car-truck crashes, the truck driver is not at fault, yet frequently the fleet takes the blame. That means your driver is unfairly put on the line along with your business and its financial health. So if you're looking to improve your bottom line and also, driver or operator morale, AI dash cams provide video and GPS evidence needed to exonerate innocent drivers from false claims and eliminate hefty legal expenses and payouts. Third, you'll gain leverage to lower your insurance premiums. It's not just fleet operations that see the significant safety improvements and cost savings with AI dash cameras. Insurance companies recognize it as well. And some carriers will offer discounts, credits, or subsidies for fleets that install these cameras. And even if your insurance company doesn't give an upfront discount, when you get to your policy renewal time, when that rolls around, you'll be able to provide solid stats that prove your reduction in accidents and violations. And that's, just pure leverage to justify a discount or at least cap escalating costs that you're likely seeing today. Another really important topic to consider when you're trying to increase efficiency and drive down costs is around digitizing inspections and digitizing field workflows. Many organizations have come to realize that paper is not scalable, but are still relying on paper processes to handle some of these day-to-day items. And there will never be enough people to physically do the work. So growing fleets need to digitize and automate to scale and get the software to do the work. Valuable time is wasted every day by switching between disjointed point solutions to just accomplish these simple daily tasks. So IntelliShift Inspect is a software module that really streamlines the inspections of vehicles, assets, equipment, job sites, safety protocols, and more. Inspections are fast, digital, and can require photo evidence, signature capture, just things that are just much more easily done in a digitized workflow. They're configurable to industry needs and regulatory requirements. So data captured through like an Inspect mobile app is instantly sent to the IntelliShift platform, enabling fleet managers to manage mobile workers in real time from afar. Companies can configure digital inspection checklists to meet wide-ranging needs. So, including creating health-based checklists for drivers and operators to adhere to critical COVID-19 prevention requirements and more. The list really goes on and on. And finally, looking towards innovations in fleet maintenance to provide some cost savings. So we recently been in the press announcing a beta version available of a fleet maintenance next generation software module within the IntelliShift platform that has really been designed from the ground up to be, a standalone platform that doesn't necessarily rely on GPS monitored assets. So anything that you want to track or maintain can be included in this app. So including things like trailers, lawnmowers, heavy equipment, things that are not part of that typical telematics tracked device or asset. So operators using, part of our platform for inspections can actually push CVIR inspections directly to the shop and communicate issues with the assets as they occur. What this does is it really aligns both service and compliance. So sometimes you need to plan for things like an annual inspection or track some upcoming license expiration, or plan for recurring services, or even track an unexpected repair. All options are really supported through this type of software workflow. Users can actually bundle multiple services or compliance tasks into a single work order event. Service techs and mechanics can record all work performed against each of the tasks completed. And finally, support for things like purchase orders, people ordering from different parts to stock in the shop for future service, or to outsource work orders to a different shop. Purchase order workflows, are supported in this as well. So with that, what I'm going to do is actually open the floor for some questions.
Okay, thank you, Kara. Let's get to some of the questions that came in during the presentation. We have a question here. You mentioned the topic of distracted driving. Do you have any advice for getting leadership on board with taking proactive steps like you described?
Yeah, I think the main, probably the first thing to do when you're trying to get support for, for investment like this is to really make that business case. I think, any data that you might already have from your fleet that you might be collecting from your telematics or GPS solutions that you currently have around harsh braking, harsh turning, rapid acceleration could be a good place to start to sort of prove that business case. But if you don't have any of that data and you're not actually tracking it, I think making a business case based on some of these, industry statistics that are widely available around, kind of the effectiveness and bottom line impact that AI video and just safety programs in general can provide. That's a great question, so thank you for that.
Okay. Here's another one that came in. Person's asking, should I tackle each of the costs you described at once or in stages?
So I think that's a really great question. They're all kind of interrelated in a way, but I do think that you don't want to overwhelm yourself with kind of biting off more than you can chew or boiling the ocean. So I would say, again, depending on some of the priorities and the unique characteristics of your business, I would say coming up with kind of one or two to start with, is really kind of the best approach. And that's why, partnering with an organization, let's say like IntelliShift, where we have sort of an all-in-one solution that can tackle all of these different types of business challenges, but you can essentially sort of turn on different modules to really focus on, your data collection, your reporting, and the analysis to take those steps to make changes in your business that are going to have real bottom line impact and real results. That's something where we can kind of grow with you and help meet those priorities step by step.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for that. I just want to remind everybody that if they have any questions, we'll make a last call for anyone who wants to submit any questions for Kara. I'll give it a moment to see if anyone has anything for you, Kara. All right. Well, it's not looking like there's any other questions other than those few that came in. So we want to say we hope that you all enjoyed today's webinar. And again, thank you, Kara, for today's presentation. I also want to mention that there is an on-demand version of this webinar that will be available on the WorkTruck's website at worktruckonline.com/webinars. And also, as a reminder, please take the time to fill out the brief exit survey. I want to thank you for attending. Hope you have a wonderful day. We also want to wish you a happy holiday and a happy new year.